It's the 3rd of March 2023 and I'm sat in the office hesitating before I call a customer. The office is a small room tucked down the corridor of a gym with no natural sunlight, just 3 desks, a bulb and 3 computers. I'm a salesman in a busy leisure centre, and to say it's been a stressful month would be an understatement. At the end of each month we have to work a closeout shift, which is where you work from 9 AM until 10 PM, all for the sake of hitting sales targets so higher management can get their commission. But it seems no matter how well we do as a team each month, it's never enough. We always seem to get ridiculed for something. Plus, who wants to work until 10 PM on a sodden Friday? I'm knackered. I sigh and I lean my head back on my chair. My 2 colleagues, Joe and Sid, are to my left and they're busy on the phone. So I put my phone down, rub my eyes, slump back into my chair and just stare at the door in front of me, knowing full well a customer could walk in at any moment saying, "Can I have a tour of the gym, please?" And I'd have to turn my charisma back on within an instant. I don't think I can do it, I think. But suddenly I hear footsteps coming down the corridor. Oh no, Lewis, get ready, it's time to shine, as I sit up in my chair and I get ready to greet the oncoming customer until a head pops around the corner and I realise, oh, it's Joe, the gym manager and one of my best friends. I smile and instantly slump back into my chair, but Joe sees that I'm tired and asks if I've got a minute. Whenever Joe asks if I've got a minute, my heart races. Joe is a military man and he's the most masculine and disciplined human being I know, and he doesn't tolerate any slacking. I only started speaking to Joe 3 months into the job because he hardly smiles and he always seems like he's angry, so I looked at him and thought, sod that for a laugh, I'm not talking to him. Joe is always on a mission. Legend has it he's so intimidating even his nightmares are scared of him. But Joe is one of the funniest and deepest people I know. As a joke I once threatened to choke him, to which he responded, "Don't threaten me with a good time," so he has enough light to balance the dark. Often I imagine him as my spirit guide in my mind when I can't be bothered to do something. I imagine him patrolling my mind, giving me one look as if to say, "No excuses, just get it done." That's the mark of an excellent friend, to make you better in their presence and absence. So of course I've got a minute. I've got many minutes for Joe. "What's up?" he says as we leave the room. "You seem a lot more confrontational lately." I sigh as we walk down the corridor to the big entrance of the centre and to a round table in the corner of the gym. "I'm just ready for confrontation. I'm so annoyed, angry, but tired at the same time," I tell him. Joe then takes me around the corner of the corridor to sit down at this round table. He's then all ears as I explain how pent up and angry I've felt over the last month, which is a result of poor management and overworking. I explain how annoyed I am at higher management, how I come to work every single day and nothing feels like enough, and how I feel like I have no control over my time, both at work and personally, and I'm just ready to explode and implode at the same time. But after I've said my piece and got my rant off my chest, Joe, who's been silently listening to me this whole time and who's 12 years older than me, turns to me and looks me dead in the eyes and says, "You need a perspective shift." "What do you mean?" I respond. "You're a very whole man, Lewis, but right now you're focusing on the actions of others which you have no control over. And that's what's getting you down. Your mindset is currently geared towards pleasing others and not for your own sanity. You need to focus on your actions and you need to decide what's good enough and what isn't. Come to work, do your best, go home. When the time comes, put your foot down, prioritise your mental health and laugh at the insignificant worries of others. Because then that way, you'll be playing your own game." I sit back in amazement at the simplicity of the words which make me think, how did I forget all of this? This is so simple. So we talk a bit more until it's time to get back to work. Then I give Joe a hug, we walk back to the office, and I already feel lighter, having been reminded of the only thing that truly matters: where I choose to place my attention. 1 year prior to this conversation, I came across a quote that Ryan Holiday posted on Twitter from the philosopher Voltaire, and it read, "The most important decision you will ever make is to be in a good mood." At first glance, I didn't understand it. In fact, I actively disagreed with it, because I thought, how can our mood be something we choose when there are multiple factors that influence it? But since this conversation I had with Joe and the shift in mentality I experienced after, I've been able to see this quote from a different angle. Here's how I now interpret it. Throughout the seconds, minutes, hours and days which make up your life, there will be and are numerous reasons to lose balance, your sense of control, argue, and to hand your peace of mind over to others. No one could argue that there are numerous annoyances, disturbances and ill wills inflicted upon us without our choosing throughout life. But if you have reckoned with the unconscious part of you which enjoys revelling in such misery, and you have attuned yourself to the conscious part of you which strives for equanimity, tranquility and stillness, you begin to realise that your default state of being, the quality of your mind, is a choice. You can choose to see your life through the lens of hate, anger, frustration, guilt, or peace, virtue, stillness and serenity. You can choose to play the game of others with the rules they've set for themselves, or you can play their game but by your rules. Your mood is the consistent set of feelings and the condition you feel most frequently, and it is fully within your power to mould it at will. On his podcast episode with Chris Williamson, Douglas Murray said you begin to wear the quality of your life on your face by age 50. But I think this is true way before 50. The states of mind most people spend a lifetime striving for, happiness, peace, equanimity, are not consequences of random occurrences throughout our life which we have no control over. No, these states are skills, and skills need to be practiced and cultivated. So each action you undertake throughout life is a vote for the state you are cultivating. Are you choosing to cultivate angst, worry, frustration? Or are you choosing to cultivate acceptance, fortitude and benevolence? Each of these states is cultivated through your actions. Are you choosing to blast your mind full of music and chatter about worldly affairs? Or are you choosing the stillness of a bike ride to work without being plugged in? Undivided attention when on a call with a friend, or a zen-like spirit as you meditate before bed. Either way, you are the sculptor and the material, and your final product will reflect the time and care you put into it. If a person gave away your body to some passerby, you'd be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who comes along, so they may abuse you, leaving it disturbed and troubled. Have you no shame in that? So that's why I agree with the idea the most important decision you'll ever make is to be in a good mood. Because good mood or bad, it's your choice.